Good evening, everybody. This is Lola Moore Johnston, your host, the homegirl here at Bloom Thursdays. And I am happy to teach purpose mastery and faithful productivity to people all around the world. I have been so grateful. This is our 20th podcast, our Bloom Everywhere conference and Bloom Thursdays. And just to have anything that goes that long has been a blessing to me. And so I want to thank you so much for being here with me. I certainly want to hear where you are from. And so if you are able, won't you jump in the comments and say hi to me? I would love to talk to you. I want to also say that we have some exciting things that are happening. I've been, kind of thinking and rethinking what we produce here and certainly want to be of optimal service. And so on tonight, I'm going to offer a shorter broadcast with the hope of being optimally impactful. You know that have had the blessing and the privilege of talking to people all around the world. And one of the wonderful things that I love to do is to bring in the voices of other women. And so one of the things that I like to do is through our reading. And so I want to share with you again the book Believe Bigger. It is the book that we'll be reading together for the month of August. We'll actually come together that last Thursday in August. And I've seen several people who have come in and decided that they wanted to be a part of the conversation. And so I'm very thrilled about that. And so join me on the last Thursday of August to talk about the book Believe Bigger. Here is the preview of the book.
Have you ever asked yourself, why am I here? What am I really here for? It's got to be more than just success and cars and houses and even just helping people, being a mom, being married. What am I really here for? I know I asked myself that question not that long ago when I was engaged to be married and found out that my fiance was cheating on me. And I discovered this 6 days before my wedding. I don't even know now how I'm going to pay my bills because I trusted him to take care of everything. Matters of the heart is something that will certainly bring you to your knees and ask you, what am I really here for? So if you're in that place, you're not alone. Women all around the world are going through an awakening and asking the exact same question, why am I here? When we look at our lives, we see a mess. But when God looks at our lives, he sees a map. And in particular, he sees 5 stages that he wants us to go through, these 5 stages of divine reinvention. I call it the purpose map. And stage 1 is called discovery. Discovery is all about the rules, who you're supposed to be and what you need to do to become successful or be accepted. Stage 2 is the talent stage. The talent stage is all about mountain climbing and becoming a master mask wearer. This is where we identify with one of 5 mountains, whether it's motherhood or marriage or being successful. And sadly, most people, most women, and most believers will never leave and make it out of stage 2. And this is where split rock moments come in to disrupt us, to wake us up, to get us to move forward. And we enter into stage 3, which is called the gap. The gap is that in-between place. You're not where you were. You're kind of leaving your Egypt, but you're also not in your promised land. You're in transition. You're in the between. Stage 4 is gifts. This is where we find out what God really made us for, what he really put us here for. But most of us don't know our gifts. And so my job, my duty, and also my honor is to help you figure out what are your gifts? The stage 5 of the purpose map, which is influence and legacy. And this is where God wants us. He wants you to lead and to learn how to lead in unique ways. It's about being available. It's about being exactly where God needs you, right where he needs you right now. There is a mission and it has your name on it. The question is, where are you on this purpose journey? Which stage are you in? And what is the mission that is calling to you, that awaits you, that needs only you to be able to answer? But you have to believe bigger in order to accept it.
So we will be discussing that book, Believe Bigger, on August the 27th. I also want to tell you about what we have coming up on August the 6th and the 7th. the 6th and the 13th, we're going to be talking about entanglements, the ins and outs of marriage. We have 4 or 5 married couples who are going to come together and talk about marriage for real. Those discussions are going to be amazing. So make sure you tune in on August the 6th and the 13th. We have people from the clinical perspective and then people who are just living marriage who will come in and talk about what it's really like to be married and some of the ways in which we can ensure that we have success in our marriages. Please join us on the 6th and the 13th of August. So tonight, I wanted to briefly, I said, if you're just coming in, I told everybody that I'm limiting this to 30 minutes. I want to be impactful maximally, and so that means being shorter. And so what I wanted to bring tonight is a testimony from one of the richest women in the world. This is one of the richest women in the world. She has a personal net worth of 1 billion US dollars, and she is a Black woman. Miss Folorunsho Alakija is from Nigeria and had begun as a secretary. She talks about her 56 brothers and sisters. Her father had 8 wives. They all had buildings. They built mosques, this incredibly rich family. And her father's dream for her was to be a secretary. And so she became a secretary at a bank. But then she determined that she actually was not going to continue in that work. She had an eye for fashion, a desire for fashion. She went to school for fashion, becomes a fashion mogul across the, oh my goodness, across Europe, comes back to Nigeria, begins in several businesses, and God blesses her to see through her faith, the Lord showed her a plot of land underwater. I know this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out. A plot of land underwater that turned out to have an oil deposit in it. She and her husband purchased it. They did a study of the land. They hit oil, and her net worth went to $1 billion. Her testimony here is going to talk about how the Nigerian government actually determined to take half of her earnings without even speaking with her, and how she was able to fight through it. And we're going to use her testimony tonight to briefly talk about perseverance. So hold on, you're going to want to hear this testimony. If you have somebody who needs to tune in, tell them to tune in now, because you want to hear from Pastor Folorunsho Alakija from Nigeria. She's one of the world's richest women, and she talks about how God allowed her to be able to be victorious in this. So let's share it right now. Well, thank you for letting me know there was no sound. I don't know, it's playing on my end, but I don't know why it's not playing over here. So, with that being said, what she shares, well, you at least see her speaking forcefully. She shared that she went to court against Nigeria. Many people told her that it was a court case that she could not win, that it was a court case that was silly
Well,
for her to
thank you
even
for
go
letting me know there
into.
was no sound. I
But
don't know, it's
it
playing on my
turned
end.
out that after 12 years fighting, she and her family won against the Nigerian government and were able to retain everything that was taken from them. For 12 years, she and her family were against the Nigerian government in court. For 12 years. Now, I want you to think about what you would have done over those 12 years. Many of us would have said, you know what, forget it. I'm not doing that for 12 years. I want to live my life. I'm not for years. Let go. I'm not going to do this for 12 years. There are more important things. And over again, I know as she was telling this story, I was thinking about several places of exit that I would have taken. When the government denied her case several times in court, I would have at some point in time said, maybe God doesn't have this for me. Maybe this is not God's will for me. But she pursued it for 12 years, and after 12 years, the word for her was her valuation currently of $1 billion because she refused to give up. Man, I'm ahead of my time, but I'm going to just go on to the punchline here. Folorunsho Alakija in every turn lets us know that there is a prize for those who do not give up. When you determine that you will stay in the race, when you determine that no matter what you are going to pursue, there is an outcome, a goal, a benefit, a prize that is there. The race is not given to the swift or the strong, but the one who endures to the end. And I'm afraid tonight, as I come, that many people like me give up too quickly. There are some things that the Lord has not told you, they don't belong to you. There has been a delay and difficulty that have caused you to give up. Many of us find ourselves being frustrated because of the wait, and we assign for ourselves, the Lord does not have this for me, even though the Lord has not told you that it is not his will for you. And there are just some big gifts, big outcomes, huge blessings that require time to get. They're going to require time. She had to go to court, listen, against her nation, who had taken 50% of her oil revenue. And she had to stay in that fight for 12 years. Do you know how much money in legal fees that must have been? And some of us say, well, we don't have 12 years worth of legal fees. But your issue is not necessarily a legal battle. It might just be you trying to get everything lined up to get your business off the ground. It may be small enough where you trying to get your schedule to align with your spouse's schedule and your kids' schedule so that you can get some additional time to work on your craft. It could be you submitting another demo, you submitting another portfolio, you submitting another YouTube video of what it is that you do and doing it for time so that eventually it will catch fire. It could be coming online for 20 different sessions and talking to the camera and believing that you're building an audience that you can't see, that you can't hear. You have to trust that the comments are real and the number that you see people watching is okay, and one day believe that you're going to blow up. Listen, the things that God has for us require time. They require time. They require investment over time. They need to be watered. They need to be weeded. They need to be nurtured. They need to be, you have to have some kind of fertilizer that you put in it. It requires time and rest. and time away. And many of us are giving up on what it is that God has for us because we're not patient with our gifts. We're not patient with the process that it requires for us to move forward. I mean, I'll link her story to the comments, hopefully, so that you can see who she is. But Folorunsho Alakija is a billionaire because she decided she was not going to give up. And I wonder how many people we have on this line who could at least be a person earning six figures if you didn't give up when things got difficult. I wonder how many people we have who could develop a following and develop steady business streams, who could develop an additional stream of income if you just didn't give up in difficulty. I'm telling you, I'm tired tonight. I told my husband, I'm not doing it. I'm giving myself a break. He said, well, you have to give the people something. And eventually I said, okay, I'll come in tonight. And it's not because you would have been disappointed. You probably would have gone on with your evening and been just fine if I didn't do it. But I would have sown a seed in what I have asked God to bless for me. This would have been a seed of giving up because I was tired. And you can't, if you want to be successful, give up just because you're tired. It don't work like that. So I have to sow a seed of being consistent. I have to sow a seed of making sure that I show up even when there are times where I just don't feel like doing it. I got to show up anyway. Show up anyway. So the message tonight is 8:20 is don't give up. Persevere. I want you to think about one thing, and please go to the comments. I want you to comment, please. What is one thing that you have given up on because it got hard, because you got tired, because you were confused? It was just too many things to put together. You just didn't know how to get it. You didn't know who to ask. Put something in the comment. What is it? Something that you have given up on? Maybe it's how, I know for me, I've been fussing with ClickFunnels for a couple of days. And it is, oh my goodness, I want to tear my hair out. I'm getting it slowly. It's a tool that would really help me if I could understand it fully, but it's taking time. I have to sit down and look at YouTube videos. But man, I am going to be able to show up in my business 10 times more if I have a working knowledge of ClickFunnels. I got to figure it out. And so what is it with you that you have been tempted to give up on because you're tired, to give up on because you don't understand, to give up on because it's taking a long time? What is it that you have been tempted to give up on? And if you realize tonight that it's just you being tired, it's just you being confused, and the Lord has not identified that thing as something immoral, something that is unloving or unchristlike, then I want you to do me a favor and recommit to that thing tonight. Whatever it is, that thing that you're trying to figure out. I know there's a couple of things. Again, for me, like I said, ClickFunnels is one. Two, I have a voice teacher who's been telling me that I have a different range. And so I've been trying, I put up a post the other day that was kind of funny to me, that I kind of sound like Mumble on Happy Feet, trying to hit some of these heights. And sometimes I give up because I think my neighbors probably are annoyed. I wonder if my husband is annoyed. I see his faces sometimes when my notes are not right. I'm tempted to give up. But I know that if I stay with it, when I do get to a place where the muscle memory kicks in and I actually can, like effortlessly go into those places, it's going to be amazing. And I believe that's the same thing for you. That there's something that time and effort and difficulty have tried to punk you out of. And we want to recommit to those things tonight. We want to see what it is that we need to reconnect. What do you need to reconnect with? What do you need to give another chance to? Not another chance to another person. I'm talking about another chance for you. To know that you can do hard things. You can do difficult things. Walking uphill with burning legs is not going to kill you. You can make it up to the top of the hill. You might be panting hard and your legs might be sore, but there are some things that are up at the top of the hill for champions. And you, my brother, you, my sister, you are a champion. You can do it, but you cannot quit. Tonight, we talked about a champion, one of the richest women in the world, but not rich because it was handed down to her. Not rich because someone married her and then divorced her and then she got half of it, which, hey, if you're married to a multi-billionaire, if that's your share, then you go ahead on, sis. But this woman, through her efforts, earned $1 billion. And after earning that $1 billion, she had to fight to keep it. And some of us here, we have to learn to fight to keep. We have to fight to keep what belongs to us. So I want to just encourage you tonight to recommit to that thing that you have a passion for. The thing that you actually are kind of good at, it requires some time and some attention. Maybe it requires like you to put together 30 minutes that you can get away early in the morning in order to commit to that thing. Maybe it'll be that you have to just ride in the car and practice, or maybe you have to go to another place, but we want you to recommit to the hard things and believe that God is giving rewards to those who hang in there. Again, I'll put the link in the comments so you can meet Pastor Folorunsho Alakija. I think you'll love her. She is amazing. Now, you may know your purpose and you might need someone to partner with you on that purpose. I am offering a new course called the Purpose Incubator. It's a 6-week course, 6 lessons solidifying your purpose. We're going to have Sunday boot camps to get you walking in your purpose. And these are the 6 lessons that we'll be looking at. Number 1 is a clarity class, developing your elevator pitch. How would you tell someone if you only had 10 seconds what it is that you do, what it is that is your magic area, what it is that you have an increased or just amazing potential in? What could you do in 10 seconds to tell them that? We're going to work on that. Number 2 is determining your entity. Is your passion a business, a ministry, or both? Number 3 is going to be your strategy. We're going to deconstruct a 10-year plan for you. And then number 4, we're going to go through branding. How do you represent your purpose to the world? Number 5 is marketing. How do you represent your purpose to the world? So how do you represent yourself is branding, and how do you represent your purpose to the world is number 5. And then 6 is how do you monetize? How do you make or raise money involving your purpose? If you want to know more about it, you can go now to lolajohnston.com/shop for more details. We get started this Sunday, and I would love to be your partner on your journey. Well, I promise that I will be out of here by 8:30, and it's 8:26. I hope that this was an infusion of inspiration for you. And again, don't be lazy. Go ahead and go to the comments and talk about that one thing that you've been kind of struggling with and you need to recommit to. And I would love to hear what it is that you're going to be working on. Again, we'll talk about entanglements next week. We're going to talk about marriage. That's something that we all need to work on, right? Entanglements, the ins and outs of marriage, August 6th and 13th on Bloom Thursdays. Come right back here. We're going to have a wonderful conversation. And until then, I want to encourage you to stay with your purpose. Your passion is worth it. I hope you have a good evening and God bless you. Good night.